Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be teaching you subtraction of numbers in any basis apart from base 10. I'll be doing this by solving the exercises that you see on the screen. Let's start with question number 1. We're asked to subtract 2155 base 6 from 10024 in base 6. What we first do is to arrange this number on top of each other, and that will be 10024. Okay, base 6, then this, and when you are arranging the numbers, you ensure that the numbers on the extreme right align first before the numbers on the extreme left. So we start aligning from here. 5, 5, 1, 2. Okay, so we have to subtract these numbers. We have to subtract this number from this. So we'll put the minus sign here and let's do it. Now, 4 minus 5, that will be impossible to the extent of the mathematical operation we are doing here. What we're going to do is to borrow 1 from here. We borrow 1 from this 2 and we bring it here. This one is different from numbers in base 10. Recall that if you are doing this kind of calculation in base 10, if you borrow 1 from here and bring it here, this one will become 14. But because we are dealing with base 6, when we borrow 1 here, that 1 we borrow will become 6, okay, before it reaches this place. And when it reaches this column, what it's going to do is to add itself to this. So it will become 6 plus 4. This will become 10. Okay? And it is this 10 that we'll be using to do the calculation now. 10 minus 5. That is 5. Okay? So we are going to write the 5 here. Okay? Now we'll move to the next column, which is this column. And in this column, recall that we have borrowed 1 from this 2 here. What is remaining here is 1. Okay? Now, 1 minus 5, that is not possible. What we're going to do is to borrow 1 from the next column, which is 0. So, there's no number to borrow there. We move to the next column, which is still 0. There's no number to borrow there. We move to the next column, which is 1. Okay? Now, we'll borrow this 1 from here and bring it to this place. But don't forget that when we borrow 1 here and it comes here, it is not 10. This one will not become 10, but rather it will become 6. And when that 6 come here, it's going to be added to the 0 that it meets there, making 6. In essence, this one will become 6. Okay? Then we borrow 1 from this 6. So it will remain 5. Okay? It will remain 5. Okay? And that 1 that we borrowed here will come to this place. And when we borrow it from here to this place, it's not 10. It will be 6. Okay? And that 6 will be added to the 0 here, making what? Making 6. So this will become 6. Okay? So The reason why it becomes 6 is because 6 plus 0 is 6. Okay? But this is the column that we need the 1 to do our mathematical operation. So we're going to borrow 1 from this 6 and it becomes 5. Okay? Now, that 1 that we borrow, by the time it reached this place, it's 6. It's no more 1 or 10. It's 6. And that 6 will be added to the 1 here, making what? 7. So, what this one will become is 7. And it is this 7 that we're going to use to do this mathematical operation here. And that will be 7 minus 5. That is 2. Okay? That is equals to 2. Right? We're done with this column. Then let's move to this next column. And when we move to this next column, recall that we borrowed number 1 from here. And as it's transiting, it's also affecting the numbers of the columns it is meeting on the line. And when we got to this place, although it came as 6, but because we borrow 1 from this, it's turned to 5. And it is this 5 that we're going to use to do this operation here. And that will be 5 minus 1. That will be equals to 4. Okay. Then we move to the next column, which is this column. And recall that when we're borrowing 1 from here, when the 1 is transiting, it becomes 6 here. And from that 6 is what we borrowed. 1 that came here and subsequently came here that allow us to be able to do the mathematical operation here. And what was remaining here was 5. And it is that 5 that we're going to use to do the mathematical operation. And this will be 5 minus 2. That will be 3. Okay? That will be 3. Okay? Let's move to the next column. But recall that this column is already 0 because it is from there that we were able to borrow 1 to come to do the mathematical operation here. So what was left here is 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0, which is not significant. So therefore, our final answer for this question 10024 base 6 minus 2155 base 6 is equals to 3425 base 6. And this is our final answer. Let's go to the next example. Example number 2 says 2310 base 8 minus 1206 base 8. So let's do it. The first thing to do is to arrange this number on top of each other, and that will be 2310 base 8, okay, minus 1206. And recall that when you are arranging this number, you ensure that the numbers on the extreme right align first before the numbers on the extreme left. And this will be equals to 6, 0, 2, 1. Okay, having arranged the number on top of each other, let's do the mathematical operation. We'll start from the columns on the extreme right, and which is this column. This is 0 minus 6. That is impossible. Okay, we need to borrow 1 from the next column, which is this column. And when we borrow the 1, when it moves, before it reaches this place, it becomes 8. The reason why it becomes 8 is because we are dealing in base 8. Okay, so when it reaches this place, it becomes 8. And 8 plus 0 is 8. Okay, now meaning that what we have here is 8. Okay, we can now do the mathematical operation as 8 minus 6, and that is equals to 2. Okay, we'll move to the next column. And when we get to the next column, recall that this 1 is no more there. What is left there is 0. And the simple reason is because this 1 was borrowed for us to do this operation that we did here. So what we are left with is 0. Okay? 0 minus 0 is equals to 0. Okay? We move to the next column, which is 3 and 2. So we say 3 minus 2, and that will be equals to 1. Okay? Then we move to the next column. And this is 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. So our final answer is 1102 base 8. Okay? This is our final answer. 2310 base 8 minus 1206 base 8 is equals to 1102 base 8. And this is our final answer. Let's move to the next question. Question number 3 says that we should subtract 110111 from 111010. 111010 minus 110111 all in base 2. So the first thing to do is to arrange the numbers on top of each other, and that will be 110100 minus. Ensure that the numbers on the right align first before the number on the left. That will be 111011. Okay, so let's do the subtraction now. Okay, don't forget that they are in base 2. We start with this column 0 minus 1. That is impossible. We need to borrow 1 from the next column. Unfortunately, the next column is 0. So we need to move to the next column, which is here. Okay, and we borrow 1 from here. When this 1 moves to this place, it becomes 2. The reason why it's 2 is because we are dealing with numbers in base 2. And when it comes here, it becomes 2 plus 0, that is 2. But we have not reached the column for which we borrow. So we're still going to borrow 1 from here. And before it reach here, it will be 2. 2 plus 0, that is 2. Okay? And when we borrow this 1 here, this one has already become 1. We'll come back to that. So what we have here now is 2. Okay? And that will be 2 minus 1. That is 1. Okay? We move to the next column. And in this column, don't forget that when we borrow 1 here, it becomes 2 because before it comes here. But when it landed here, we still need to borrow 1 from it. So what was remaining here was 1. So 1 minus 1 is equals to 0. Okay? We move to the next column. And in this next column, we have 1 there. But recall that we have borrowed this 1 here, leaving the number here to be 0. Okay? So 0 minus 1 is impossible. We have to borrow 1 from here. And when we borrow 1 from here, before it reaches here, it becomes 2. And when it's reached here, we still have to borrow 1 from here because this is the column we want to do this mathematical operation. When we borrow 1 from this, what will remain there is 1. And that's 1 that we borrow here before it reaches this place. It becomes 2. Okay? So we are there now. Let's do the operation here. Number here now is 2, courtesy of the number that we borrow from here. So let's do the operation 2 minus 1. That will be 1. Okay. We move to the next column. And in this column, don't forget that what is left here is 1. So we can easily say 1 minus 0. That will be equals to 1. Okay. Now we move to the next column. And in this next column, recall that this is the column from which we borrow 1 to do our subsequent mathematical operation here and also here. So what is left here is 0. Okay. We have to borrow 1 from here, and that will be 2 before it reach this place. Okay. And when it reached this place, that will be 2 plus 0, that was 2, and minus 1, that will be 1. Okay. But don't forget that what is left here is 0. Okay. We still have to borrow 1 from here because 0 minus 1 is impossible. We'll be forced to borrow 1 from here. And when we borrow 1 from here, it is, before it reaches this place, it becomes 2. And recall that the reason why it becomes 2 is because we are dealing with numbers in base 2. When you borrow a number from the next column, what you borrow is actually the base of what you borrow is actually the number of the base in which you are doing the mathematical operation. So borrow 1 from here. Before it comes here, it becomes 2. And that 2 minus 1 will give us 1. We move to the next column. In this column, don't forget that it is from there that we borrow 1 that made us to be able to do the mathematical operation here. What is left here is 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. So therefore, this is our answer. 1110100 base 2 minus 110111 base 2 will be equals to 111101 base 2. And this is our final answer. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, subscribe. When you click the subscribe button, you'll be presented with an alert icon. Kindly click the alert icon for you to be notified when I make new videos. And also share with friends for them to benefit. Thank you for watching. Until I see you in my next video. Take care and bye bye.